Welcome back to MMA Oddsbreaker. Today we have Michelle, the karate hottie, Waterson on, getting ready to fight Angela Magana. Okay, yeah, it's.
No, you're Michelle Waterson.
Is it tough being in the women's division? That's new. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's paying attention to 135 because Ronda, and that whole group, and then you guys, you're the new kids on the block. You know what I'm saying? But you've been around for a while. Like I just commented before we started taping that. I forgot how many people you've actually fought. Like you've fought a lot of big name girls in your division at 12-4.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's a step towards the right direction. For a lot of people, they think that I feel like the 115 division in the UFC is actually more well-rounded as far as like the MMA fighters go, and it's not to take a shot at the 135ers. But I just feel like a lot of the girls have been in the game and are more rounded MMA fighters.
You know, I look at Ronda, and to me, she's 5 years ahead of everybody else in her division. There's nobody else going to catch her for 5 years, and she'll probably end up leaving and retiring out before that time, before someone catches her. If she's smart and walks like GSP did as a champ. I feel like at 115, not only is everyone more experienced, but the level is so much better at your weight class than is at 135 as a whole, and you guys are so much closer to each other. Where number one, really, at Joanna right now, isn't really that much better than number 7. Now it looks like she's better than number 7 because the way she just beat Penne, but it's not. She's not really that much better than everybody else, and so it's a tough division really to be in right now.
Yeah, I think it's a tough division, but I also think it's a very entertaining division, and I think that. We'll be able to, Dana White will be able to, use us and kind of run with it,
It's going to be it's an easy marketing plan. It's very simple. Obviously, Karate Hottie jumps out at everybody. If they don't know you, they're going to look at your nickname like, oh, it's a Karate Hottie. Like, why they call it Karate Hottie? So they're going to look, okay, she's attractive. All right, oh, look at her record. She's 12-4. Oh, she's a mom. Oh, she's a wife. Oh, it's like, oh, crap. Like, this is like a real girl. That's a woman that fights, that's also a mom, that it's like, okay, now it's an easy package to sell. It's very simple. Yeah. And the UFC media machine, with you at least, and with several others, are able to jump all over it. It's very simple to sell. Now, is it very easy to buy, though? American fans, we're talking about just Americans. I'm not talking about, Brazilians tend to love all fights.
Yeah.
French tend to love all fights. English tend to love all fights. Americans like big, fat, heavyweight guys. That's what we like. We like knockouts, we like battles. Is it easy to buy, knowing that it's 115-pound women?
I mean, if you just look at the last championship fight with Johanna and Jessica, it was a bloodbath. And to me, that's entertainment, Yeah. And it's not like Jessica got cracked, and started bleeding and was like, no, I tapped. She kept going.
Yeah.
So to me, that shows the heart of a fighter. And that's what people are drawn to. They want to see that fight. They want to see that passion, and I think that the women will deliver.
So let's talk about your last fight. It didn't. I mean, it obviously didn't go your way. You got beat by submission, but then the UFC comes calling shortly after, which to me goes a testament to how tough you are as a competitor, because they don't pick up losers. UFC is not in the habit of grabbing somebody on a losing streak, even if they've lost one fight. You got to win. They'll tell you, hey, look, win one more against this opponent, we'll let you in. They bought you in a loss. It goes to, like, you broke the mold. Like that's not the traditional way of going about things. So don't feel bad about, oh, this loss and coming into the UFC. You should feel like, I lost, but I still got picked up. Like, this is a huge deal, in anybody, whether it's men or women, makes no difference. But let's talk about Harika. Take me through what happened wrong. What went wrong in that third round?
Well, I just feel like it kind of snowballed from when I was going for the submission in the first round. I was going for an armbar, and she pulled out of that sucker and came down with a punch, and it landed just in the perfect spot. And my eye just blew up immediately. And I think after that, it was more of a distraction than it was painful, because for me, it was like trying to focus on keeping my eye open. And then it was like, instead of keeping myself calm and just sticking to my game plan, then I felt like I needed to change my game plan. I felt like I had some sense of like like I was eager to finish the fight because my eye was getting worse and worse.
Oh, okay.
So instead of just being patient and like picking my shots, my mentality changed from, stick to your game plan to hurry up and finish the fight. And so I started getting desperate and I started going for stupid stuff. And I feel like in the fight between her and I, there was a lot of scrambles. And her jiu-jitsu is very explosive. And I'm not going to take anything away from her. I feel like our scrambles were awesome to watch. She just, for that split second when I was coming out of the armbar scramble, was just a split second ahead of me and went for that guillotine. And it was a perfect submission, the way she landed it, the way she had got it. And if I wasn't I feel like I panicked.
Okay.
I panicked. And, when you're in a fight, sometimes things go way slower in your head than they do like in real life.
Yeah.
So I remember coming out of the armbar and coming up, and I was ready to take her into my side mount. And before I knew it, she jumped guard when we were still on the ground and snatched my head down to the ground. And I remember being in the guillotine for long enough to open my eyes and find my corner and look at my husband and talk. Like, I felt like I was talking to him, and I was like trying to like tell him like I can't do it. And then I remember tapping. So all of that happened it was probably a second.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I was holding on a lot longer. When I went back to watch the tape, it was so fast. So I panicked and I tapped before I should have.
This is the reason why I like really interviewing women fighters, because a guy fighter, his ego gets in the way. He's not going to say that. He's not going to say, by the way, I panicked. It's not refreshing, but women just tend to be more open about what the actual reality of what's going on in your head in the middle of that mess. So now you panicked. You tapped too soon. You could have probably got out of that submission. I felt like at home watching it, she could have got out of that. Like, she could have, something else was going on. And there's always what happened before? Was something wrong with the baby? Were you and your husband fighting before you went in? There's always those questions that pop up. You're like, no, I panicked. Like, it's just athletic panic. This is what happened. So now, moving forward, you're getting ready to fight Angela. Is this something that you're working on in your camp now for this training camp, going, okay, put myself in a panic situation and try to get out of it? Is this something that you're working on now?
Every day. And after my last fight, it took a lot for me to come back and watch my fight. I didn't want to. I didn't want to see myself losing, but both of my coaches encouraged me to do it and said it would make me a better fighter. And so I went back and I watched it and tried to watch it without any emotions. And I think that's what's carried me through this camp, is to not be as emotional. Like, if I can make the fight more about technique and about my skill and ability, and not about the emotions that go into it. Like, oh, I have to get to the top. Oh, I have to keep this belt. Oh, I have to perform for the UFC. If I just go in there and do what I do, I'll be perfect.
And that's refreshing, and every athlete should try to take that approach. And it's tough to watch something without emotion, because you remember, when I hit her, I remember what was going through my head in the middle of that round, and when I got hit, I remember what was going on through my head when it was going on through the middle of that round. So you kind of like have to get that things out of the way and really try to figure it out. So now Angela's going back and she's looking at all of your tapes. It's very easy to get footage on you. It's not difficult. Okay, she saw you panic. She won't see this interview because it won't load up until a day or two before the fight. So she won't have time to analyze it herself. But now that you know that you panicked, you're going to make the assumption she knows that you didn't get out of it quick enough. So the assumption is, she doesn't like grappling. So if I grapple with her, she's going to panic, and I'll be able to finish her quickly. Do you think that's what Angela's going through her head in her camp? That's what she's planning on trying to do?
Definitely. I feel like the majority of the girls I fight, that's their game plan, is to take me down and submit me. But I've been working a lot on my grappling, and like I said, Herika, she kind of came out of the blue, and she's a very explosive jiu-jitsu fighter, and she doesn't have the really nonchalant jiu-jitsu. Her jiu-jitsu is explosive, and it's very geared towards MMA, and that's something that caught me off guard. And I grew it from it, and I feel like I'm a better fighter because of it.
And it's weird. People do try to take you down and submit you, but if you look at your record, it's 12 wins, 3 of them by KO. Even though you're the karate hottie, you've only gotten 3 KOs, but 7 submissions and 2 decisions. But everyone still tries to take you down, even though you win most of your fights by submission. To me, it's kind of a strange game plan, and it worked last time. I don't think it's going to work. It doesn't work every single time. It just happened to work with Herika. Then you look at Angela's record with her 11 wins. She's got 6 submissions, 2 KOs, and 3 decisions. So she's got 1 more decision, 1 less KO. It's one of those situations where, how do you envision this fight happening in reality? We all have our game plan. We all know what we want to try to put together as an athlete. But the reality of it is, you guys are going to come in, you're going to punch, you're going to scramble, and someone's going to end up on top, and someone's going to end up on the bottom.
I feel like lately what I've been trying to do is not fight off my back. And I think starting my MMA career, I was always on my back because I was always a smaller fighter. And so I was always real defensive, and I just learned how to fight off my back. But I feel like as MMA evolves, people are learning how to, hip off. People are learning how to pressure, and people are using more of the wrestling style of top pressure to win these fights. So it's hard to get submissions off your back. So I've been really focusing on having a jiu-jitsu game, but more of a top game rather than a bottom game. So if I am on the bottom, I'm scrambling to get up, or I'm scrambling to get top position. And I feel like that's going to be my key to winning.
What's funny is that's what I teach when I teach at Strong Sports Gym in downtown LA. I teach the guys, like, why, your bottom game is you're looking for a couple different submissions on the bottom, but you're trying to ultimately get back on top. You're really not trying to play off your back. It's just how you're trying to, because the sport changed. Everybody needs to be on top if you want to win a fight. The guy that's on top is at a full advantage. They have so much more to be able to get away with.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way.
Do you think
you could be beating the guy from the bottom and elbowing him. It just, the judges, they don't see it that way. They see you on the bottom, and then it is what it is.
And you're losing. That's the mentality of the judging. Do you think this fight is one of those fights that's going to be fight of the night? Do you think Angela's going to be able to bring it? Well, I mean, of course you hope so, because you want the $50,000 bonus. I mean, we all want the bonuses. But do you think that Angela's going to be that kind of fighter where she's going to stay in there and make it a fight of the night? Like, make it a battle where the crowd is going to go crazy. And everyone's going to be like, I can't believe how that, and talk about it Monday morning around the water cooler.
I'd rather it be like TKO of the night or submission of the night on my end.
Very good answer. Yeah, I mean, obviously we always want the one punch out or the easy submission out to pull that one off. I just don't know if Angela has the game to push the pace like that. It's not her style. Like, I don't think she's ever going to be a fight of the night kind of fighter, but she's going to win a lot of fights. I just don't think she has that dynamic where I think that you can be a fight of the night fighter, because the dynamic, the way that you compete, the way that you win, but you guys will end up with the same amount of wins. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to take anything away from Angela. Just her style isn't that kind of dynamic style. But she'll get submission of the night. She might get a knockout of the night, along the way. But, your game, obviously, is you're looking for that knockout as soon as the bell rings.
Yeah. I do. I think Angela's more of a grinder. I think she's kind of like a bully fighter. She likes to just, try to pin you up against the cage and use her shoulder pressure and, use her top game and stuff like that. So it might turn into a little more cage fighting than, what the fans like. But we're working on things to make that more entertaining. So
good for you. Who's coming to Vegas with you to corner?
My husband will be in my corner, Coach Winklejohn and Coach Jackson.
Okay, so you have the A team. All right.
Yeah.
It's a busy week for you guys, because the night before is UFC 189, and that's also at the MGM, and then the next night is obviously your fight at the MGM again. Is it going to be too much of a distraction with other people around, and it's a huge fight expo week? It's everyone's going to be in town starting the 8th, Thursday night, and it's backed up Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like, everybody and their brother's going to be in town doing everything. Do you think the extra distractions are going to be a problem for you?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I mean, I feel like just the fact that this will be my UFC debut and all of that, I've been trying to keep my nerves
Right.
in check. But for me, the best way to do that is train hard now, because a week out, there's really nothing I can do more that's going to help me in my fight. So I'm training like really, really hard right now. And then,
Good.
you know, once I'm out in Vegas, then it's just like it's smooth sailing, and hopefully we could just put my technique to work.
And this is for the fans at home. Whenever I schedule an interview with Michelle, she is always on time, prepared, and ready to go. She never put bumps. She never pushes. The first time today, she gave me a text, hey, can we push? I got mitts. And that's a rarity. Like, she knows her schedule. You know everything you got going on. So I knew you were getting an extra mitt workout in. I knew you were trying to there was something that was going on in your head. Like, I got to work on this one thing or these two things. That I just don't have them right. I need to do it right now. And I know that. I know that's your personality. So when I saw that text, I kind of smiled and went, oh, she's put an extra couple rounds in. All right, yeah. Whatever time you need to go, Michelle, it's fine. It's easy. So it was like, to me, that was my sign as a guy that's not in your camp. That has nothing to do with your camp. I'm not around New Mexico. I'm not training over at Jackson's. That just watching all the signs of you and going, oh yeah, she's working extra hard for this one. You really are, and it shows. I've seen a couple pictures of it come out, a couple pictures that you posted on your social networking. I do stalk you. I'll admit it.
I stalk you too.
It's awesome to see what you're putting out. It's awesome to see your attitude and your physical change too. You've gotten bigger, but you haven't gotten bulkier, which is tough to do as a female, to put on that extra weight. And it's doing very well, and it shows in your speed, it shows in your mitt work, it shows in everything that's going on. So I can't wait to see this fight. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to check this fight out on July 12th. It's gonna be one of the better fights on the card. Unfortunately, I'm leaning towards Jake Ellenberger's fight to be the main event, because he trains at my academy in LA. So that's my bias. I apologize, but so who takes care of your baby when you're fighting? Does he come with, or because your husband's with you too?
She's coming with us.
Okay.
My mom, actually, I bring her out from Denver to help me watch her during my fight camp. So we're driving out to Vegas, a whole little family trip.
Good. I'm here in Vegas. I'll be here. You have any problems on the kid front, let me know. I have kids here.
Awesome.
I know all the little ins and outs. I know how tough it is being in a casino with your kid, trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do with her? Like, what's going to happen? And even though your mom's there, you still want mommy-daughter time, but you still want some time. Give me a holler if you're getting any problems at all. I'll help you out.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
You got it. We'll see you. I'll be at the fight, so I'll see you, probably see you at weigh-ins the night before, and then I'll see you at the fight on Sunday night.
Thank you. I'm excited.
It's going to be a great fight, Michelle. Thanks so much for coming on. We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.